and welcome to Training Tuesday, where we talk through weekly tips and tricks to make your career just a little bit more awesome. This week, we are talking about some of the phrases that people call themselves, such as I'm just a bad networker, I'm a procrastinator, I'm good at X or bad at Y, any of those things. So if you've ever had the habit of calling yourself pretty much anything, this is for you, and that's most of us. Now, the reason I'm talking about this week is because when I hear people say stuff like this, they're so frustrated because they want so badly to move into the opposite of what they say they are, but they don't know how, and they keep ramming their head against the wall saying, I wish I could be, an early bird, but I'm just a night owl. Or I wish I could be, better at networking, but that's just not who I am. I'm a little more introverted. Now, the thing about this is, as much as you want to swap to the other end of the spectrum of whatever this thing is, the unfortunate truth of it is you are the biggest thing that's getting in your way for this. And what I mean by that is that by defining yourself by the actions that you've done up until now, so saying, because I have a habit of procrastinating, I'm a procrastinator. Because I have a habit of struggling to network, that means I'm a bad networker. Any of those things, because you are using those things to define who you are giving this behavior an out. Now, if that sounds confusing, it's totally understandable. But what I'm trying to explain here is that if you are using these terms for yourself, it can kind of become this crutch, because then you don't have to focus on getting better at it. You kind of just feel like I'm just not good at these things. And so again, it becomes this comfortable place to hang out where you don't actually have to get better at it. You just get to say, I know this about myself. Just like when people try and say, I just know that I'm kind of bossy instead of actually working on the behavior. That doesn't make it any better. So I've done this, we've all done this. I know back in my Myers-Briggs days, before I became a practitioner, I found out I had a judging preference, and for a long time, it kind of became this joke where I would just say, it's just my J preference, so, we just need more structure. And I realized in retrospect that I was 100% using it as a crutch to elicit the behavior that I already wanted to do. So the good news is about you being in your way, it also means you can get out of your way. And so if you want to start to change these behaviors or change these things like saying you're not a good networker, we can totally do that. And the important way to start to do that is to change your language. So instead of saying, I am blank, say, I have a habit of blank, right? This is something I'm having the women in Career Clarity Camp this week look at what they call themselves, because everyone has the tendencies to define themselves by certain things that they wish they weren't. And so if you've done this, I want you to start to change your language first and foremost by saying, I have a habit of procrastinating, not I'm a procrastinator. Anything like that. So try this tip on for size, reach out if you need support, and in the meantime, happy working.